Hello. Thank you very much for joining me on this live event on the causes of chronic weight gain. It's a very important subject on understanding the causes of your weight gain. In fact, it's important to understand the cause of any health condition. Even a simple thing as a headache can have multiple causes. There could be hundreds of causes for a headache. So to say, what should I take to treat my headache? Well, the question really is, what is the cause of my headache? If you know the cause of the headache, you can treat the headache. So it's the same for weight gain. If you have excess or chronic weight gain, then the real question is, we want to know what the cause is. So I'm going to go over a list of different causes, and it would be good if you had a piece of paper and you could write down, a few that you think you are, because it could be multiple causes that are contributing to your weight gain or your inability to lose weight. So once you identify these causes, then you can start to work on them one at a time. First, the most important one is poor digestion or weak digestion. We often see people who are overweight and they have no appetite, they have no digestion, they have no digestive fire, they have no agni, there's no this drive or passion to them. They're not hungry in the morning, they're skipping lunch, and they're starting to get hungry around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is this poor, weak, or manda agni, which we call in Ayurveda, that contributes to weight gain. I mean, it's like cooking food when the temperature is too low. I mean, the food just doesn't cook when you eat when you're not that hungry. So it would even be worse if you ate when you're not hungry. But the signs of it are you're not hungry. And of course, if you did eat in the morning because someone is cooking for you or prepared for you, and you didn't have any appetite, didn't feel like eating, then this is also going to contribute to weight gain. So it's the opposite of what you think. You think, well, if I'm not hungry, I should be losing weight. But as many people know who are gaining weight and not eating much, that this is a problem. And of course, my patients, after they've worked with me and I've increased their digestive fire and agni by maybe ginger, lemon, honey tea with black pepper in the morning and other spices and warmer foods and better eating habits and other suggestions, which I'll cover in this webinar, then their digestive fire is stronger, their appetite stronger, and they may be even eating more than they were before, but they're still losing weight. So you really want to overcome this poor digestive fire. And we could say in a nutritional science that you don't have enough hydrochloric acids, stomach acids, peptic acids in the stomach to break down the fat to start digesting the food. So you put off eating until the acids and the appetite is there. But the problem is that you start eating 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then you keep eating, you're snacking, then dinner comes, you eat dinner, and then after dinner you're still hungry, and then you're eating right into the night, then you're eating at night. So then you've really broken 2 golden rules of weight loss, and that is don't snack and don't eat at night. So even though you weren't hungry all day and you feel like you didn't eat much by the snacking, the nuts, the crackers, the pasta for dinner, and then the eating yogurt in bed, you still contributed to weight gain, even though the volume of food didn't appear to be very much. Of course, it's always difficult to judge how much we're eating when we're snacking. I mean, those bag of chips go pretty fast. So the next common reason for weight gain would be poor liver function, which we often can see as poor digestion of fat. Oily foods, fried foods bother you, get kind of nauseated, a discomfort when you're having oily foods. And this contributes to more weight gain because we're not able to break down these fats and the fatty acids, which can then absorb into the system and be utilized by the body as a form of energy. But instead they become like half digested and they clog the systems, clog up the body, and contribute to weight gain. This is due to low bile, poor liver function. The liver could be dry and cirrhosis, or you could have a history of hepatitis or another type of liver virus where the liver is not functioning well. It could be a fatty liver, clogged up gallbladder, and any of these liver problems can contribute to either weight gain or weight loss. So improving liver function really helps. I have many teas to help with liver function. Dandelion, burdock root, milk thistle with a little licorice and a ginger, and it's very effective. Drinking a couple cups of this a day over a period of time will help to improve the liver, improve the digestion of fat, which will help the metabolism and help tremendously with weight gain. Same for improving digestion, you want to have spices before the meals. I have this one here that has ginger, cumin, cinnamon, fenugreek, cloves, and black pepper. I mean, you have that early in the morning, you're going to be hungry later in the day. Home remedies, of course, are chewing on ginger with a little salt or black pepper on it, or chewing on some ginger with lemon on it. Just having lemon, hot water with lemon and a little black pepper in it will help stimulate the appetite. So stimulating the fire, stimulating the appetite, getting the digestion going, getting the liver working well so there's good bile. These are very, very important, and the most common causes for weight gain, particularly later in life when our liver function's not doing as good and we've already had years of bad habits. Another common reason for weight gain is eating the wrong foods. Weight loss isn't really a nutritional problem unless there's nutritional deficiencies, and we'll cover that because nutritional deficiencies create cravings. They create overeating, and of course in Ayurveda we say it's not what you eat but what you digest, and it's not a nutritional problem most of the time with foods, but it's the what foods. In Ayurveda, if you're heavy and slow and sluggish and gaining weight, then we don't have heavy foods that are going to slow you down. So what are heavy foods that you want to avoid? Nuts, particularly between meals. That was cheese, wheat, and meat. It's not the gluten in the wheat that's the big problem. It's the heaviness, the inability to digest that wheat that's a problem. So lighter grains like barley and rice are much lighter. You don't feel as heavy after you have a bowl of rice compared to say you have a bowl of pasta. So that heavy feeling is it's heavy, it's hard to digest, it bogs you down and slows down the metabolism. So you want to eat lighter foods, so eat more leafy greens. Instead of meat, we're having beans. Instead of sweet potatoes and heavy potatoes and root vegetables, we're having leafy greens and lighter foods. If the digestion is nice and strong and you're hungry and that's not an issue, then you can have salads and leafy greens. But if your digestion is weak and you're not that hungry and you're picky and everything's bothering you and you're having digestive problems, then you want to have cooked vegetables. Just eating raw foods doesn't guarantee you're going to lose weight, particularly if you don't have the digestion to even eat these raw vegetables. So, and I see a lot of people having cold foods. So we don't want heavy, we want light, but we also don't want cold. Cold is congestive and blocking and restrictive. We want warm foods, hot foods that dilate, improve the circulation, and help to burn the fat. You're not going to burn the fat in a cold environment. We need a hot environment. Got to be out in the sun, got to be exercising, got to be moving, by hot teas, ginger teas, warm foods to help, soften up this fat tissue and allow it to burn off and convert back to usable energy, and then we will sweat. Sweat was the waste product of fat being burned. So when you're out there sweating, walking in the outside or gardening, and you're a little hungry and you're working and sweating, that's it. You're losing weight right then. You're not snacking, sitting in the air conditioner. That's going to go the opposite direction. It's going to make you heavy, slow, and cold. So we want to be light, hot, active. Okay, so be outside moving and allow the digestion to become nice and strong before you eat. Another common cause of weight gain is just blockage. Many types of blockage. You have circulatory blockage, with fat in the blood. Obviously, this can increase blood pressure and can be even life-threatening. But lymphatic blockage is blocking the drainage system of your body. So this is why dry brushing is so good. And blockage in the colon is constipation. And, it's important to understand, am I constipated? Everybody thinks I'm normal. But, you want to be going 1 or 2 times a day, at least, preferably in the morning. If you're going late in the day at night, that's mild constipation. If you're just going 1 time a day, it's mild constipation. If you're skipping days, this is serious constipation. If you're going days, obviously you have a big issue. So you should focus on that blockage in your colon and get that going. Herbs and change of diet. It's not snacking, stronger digestion will all help. All the things that I mentioned earlier will help with not just digestion, but also elimination. So the system has to be hungry and digesting and absorbing and eliminating. I mean, if you have any type of blockage in there where you're not hungry, not getting out the bile from the liver or not getting it out of the colon when it's time to move, then, the whole digestive system will be adversely affected. And this is going to contribute to weight gain, and in some people even weight loss. Depends on the individual, and it definitely starts to lead to malabsorption, nutritional problems, cravings, and other issues. So you want to keep the body moving, keep the system moving, keep the circulation moving, keep the bowels moving. Things have to be moving. You don't want stagnation when you're trying to lose weight, just like we don't want to be sitting around all day. We have to keep the muscles moving, keep the heart pumping strong. So exercise, walking, this is why they're so important. And then next is a common reason for weight gain is improper food combining and eating habits. We mentioned before that snacking is really detrimental to your digestion, but you're kind of using up your digestive capacity when you snack. I mean, you only have so much bile, so much digestive enzymes from the pancreas, so much stomach acids to get through a day. And if you're just snacking on nuts that are heavy, hard to digest, going to use up your stomach acids, use up your bile, use up your enzymes. Then when meal comes around, you're not that hungry. You can't eat that much. So you have a small meal, and then 2 hours later, you're hungry again. And now you're in the cycle of just kind of grazing, picking at foods and eating late at night. And this is fast way to gain weight. I mean, if you're skinny and underweight, you want to gain weight, no problem. Just start having about 4 or 5 meals a day. Don't and snack a lot on nuts and cashews and cheese, and this will surely put some weight on you in no time. But even if you're thin and underweight, you still should leave some time between the meals, at least 3 hours, to allow the digestion to come around full cycle and allow the digestive fire to come back and the appetite to come back, so you feel hungry enough to be able to digest the meal. So grazing all day is not healthy for anybody. Because we don't have this type of digestive system like a cow with 2 stomachs that can graze all day, and one side can hold it, the other side can digest it. But we don't have that. We have to go through a cycle. So we need at least 3-4 hours between meals, and we need to avoid crackers, cookies, biscuits, and things like this in between meals. You can have some light fruit if you don't have blood sugar issues, you're diabetic, no diabetic problems, diabetes. Then you can have fruit. Fruit's good to keep your energy going, not too sweet. Unless you're underweight and depleted, then you can have sweet fruit, because sweets increase body weight. It's not so much fat that's getting people, eliminating fat, eliminating oil, eliminating butter, eliminating dairy. Dairy can clog you up, but it's not so much the putting on the weight. It's the sweets. It's the the sugar in the tea, the sugar in the coffee, the cookies, the candy, the chocolates, even though they're organic chocolate, these sweets, and particularly in the form of snacks. Other are really the main contributor to weight gain. Many people told me they just stopped the snacking and just had, 3 meals a day when they were hungry with a little digestive tea, and they did just fine and started losing weight. Of course, no eating at night. We all know that, because the digestive system takes time to digest. And when you eat at night, it doesn't finish the process. You're not hungry in the morning. You don't eat till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you get famished at 3. Then you're snacking right up to dinner, eating at dinner, and then eating right into the night again. And then the whole cycle starts. So you got to break these cycles. Some easiest way to break these cycles is just fast for a day or 2. If you fast for a day or 2 on ginger tea, you're going to be hungry in a day or 2 in the morning. And you're going to move the whole cycle earlier. Instead of getting hungry at 2 o'clock or 12 o'clock, then you're going to start to get hungry at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at the latest, because you didn't eat all day yesterday. And that's what you want. Move the eating earlier. So when you eat earlier, before you go to work, before you do your thing in life, you have a chance to burn those calories off and to use up the calories that you consume throughout the day, not to be sleeping on them and contributing to more weight gain, particularly when you couldn't even digest it because you were lying in bed when you're eating. So, it's more important to follow these guidelines. And if you don't have strong appetite, just have 2 meals a day. If you're thin and underweight, you can have 4 meals a day. If you're somewhere in between, you have a nice, healthy appetite, you're not overweight, you can do 3 meals a day. But for many people that are very overweight and have a slow metabolism and weak appetite, 2 meals is fine. But no snacking on the crackers, cookies, biscuits, cakes, and all these things. And just some, maybe apples, some not too sweet fruit between meals. This will go a long way to improve your health, your digestion, and ultimately your weight. Many people are gaining weight later in life because of these reasons, because of poor digestion, poor elimination, blockages in the system that all came from poor eating habits and irregular eating, irregular times, all will contribute to these problems. And then eventually you can have nutritional problems, which I mentioned earlier, that start cravings, particularly if you eliminate all grains. Then you start to have low vitamin B levels, which make you more nervous, more anxious, and then that can contribute to, you know, poor sleep, even though you're losing weight. So you don't want to go extreme. You don't want to like eliminate anything that's high in protein, or eliminate all grains, or you want to have a balance. Always find balance. If you have too much rice, then you're going to, you know, have too much energy and, you know, simple carbohydrates and weight gain. If you have too little, then you also become nervous and anxious and create cravings. So you don't want to, you have to get things just right. Don't think in extremes of eliminating. It's not it's not no grains, it's what grains. Millet, for example, is a very good grain for weight loss. It's good for edema and swelling. And also when it comes to protein, it's what protein that's important. We want beans. Beans are the best. So now you're getting an idea. Beans, rice, or millet, a little spice, and some cooked vegetables if your digestion is weak, and some raw vegetables if your digestion is strong, and just 2 meals a day, and some fast 1 day a week too, to keep the Agni high, keep the appetite strong, so you're not having this weak digestion. And do whatever you can to keep those bowels going. Of course, there's many herbs that you can take at night to get the bowels going. There's teas that we can take to help improve digestion. There's herbs that we can take to improve, help with sugar cravings. This weight loss tea, for example, is very effective. It gives you energy. It's got elethro, which is a type of ginseng, along with green tea, and then chickweed, which is what the Europeans used to use for weight loss, just all by itself. Chickweed worked very well. And of course, have Gemenia sylvestre in here, which helps stabilize blood sugar, and Garcinia, which is what Dr. Oz spoke about as being the super weight loss herb. And then I support it with fenugreek, cinnamon, ginger, and a little stevia, which all help stabilize blood sugar, help with cravings, and also to help, you know, to increase the metabolism and expedite fat burning. You know, there's other herbs in Ayurveda that you can take after meals that improve digestion and help with fat burning. There's other herbs that help with swelling. If you have a lot of edema and swelling, that we have herbs you can take after meals to help with the swelling. So the herbs are like the tools. They're there to help you. You have unstable blood sugar. We have this you can take after meals that will lower the blood sugar quite quickly, as half a teaspoon after each meal. So all of these herbs will help the metabolism, help the liver work better, help the digestion work better, stabilize the blood sugar, and will help you to lose weight faster. But you have to eliminate the cause, whether it was poor eating, eating at night, you know, in other areas. We have to eliminate the cause. It's very important to identify these causes. Now, of course, there's also emotional and mental causes. Thinking too much is like a mental cause. I mean, we're eating because we think we have to, or we're eating some certain food because we think it's good, or we're not eating any food. We tend to deprive ourselves a lot because we think that's the best way for weight loss, but it's actually not always the best approach, because, you know, depriving yourself too much and not eating enough grains, not eating meals, skipping meals, and, you know, then you become depleted and weak and malnourished, and this creates cravings and even more weight gain. And how do you have the energy to exercise and walk when you have poor nutrition? So you have to be careful to still continue to support yourself. If you have a daily routine and a job, you have to provide yourself with enough energy to keep going, enough protein to satiate the body, and enough fat. You know, eliminating fat is never a good idea. Then I see so many people that are, oh, no, I'm not having any fat, no butter, no cheese, almost no oil. You know, their skin gets dry, the teeth, you know, start to get weak, even hair starts to fall out, stools start to get dry, you know, inner organs start to get dry, lips are cracking. So, you know, they're kind of drying themselves out, dehydrating themselves. Joints are cracking now because of lack of lubrication. Meanwhile, you know, they're famished because they're not having any fat in the diet. So you need a few teaspoons a day minimum of some form of healthy fat to keep going. And often we don't have the digestive capacity to get that fat or healthy fatty acids out of just eating nuts, particularly when the digestion is poor. So you want to follow these guidelines, identify your cause, eliminate the causes. Sometimes you may have 2, 3 causes. You could be constipated, have poor liver function. It could be lymphatic, could be blocked up, and it could be emotional reasons, as we mentioned. Even anxiety and stress will make a person want to eat more to comfort themselves, because wheat and grains are comfort foods. They're high enough where they make you feel better. So it's, again, if you're depressed and sad and lonely and you want some comfort, we can have some pasta and some pizza. These are comforting, but again, weight gaining. So you have to address maybe these emotional issues and keeping yourself more calm so you don't have anxiety, nervousness, and being more social and having more positive thinking if you're sad, and looking at your whole lifestyle here if you have emotional and reasons for your eating. And of course, it also can be cultural. We have cultural habits. We have habits we learned from our parents, bad habits we picked up, and of course, we have Facebook habits, crazy diets and fads and things that we've picked up from the internet. And these type of changes aren't always healthy for the body. They can be. I mean, you could pick something randomly and follow it, or follow a weight loss method or a food that somebody else took, and it could be good for you. But unless you know the cause, what is your cause for weight gain, then you could be wasting your time, or you could be making the situation worse. And of course, there's many diseases too that contribute to weight gain, of hypothyroidism, poor thyroid function, diabetes type 2, even steroid toxicity, hormonal imbalances, Cushing syndrome. There's other diseases that contribute to weight gain. So you must address these causes, not just focus on the weight gain. For example, if you have a hypothyroidism, it's a type of toxicity and blockage in the thyroid gland. So in Ayurveda, we have herbs. Kanchar Guglu is a formula, and this is like a cleansing herb that reduces growths, tumors, cysts, and also helps to clear the thyroid and get it working better. So then maybe there's no need to be taking weight loss teas, starving yourself, weight loss herbs, and all these if you've identified the cause as a poor thyroid function, which the doctor can identify for you. So, and it would be fruitless to starve yourself or restrict yourself if you haven't taken care of this cause of your poor thyroid function. So I can't emphasize enough the importance of focusing on identifying the causes and seeing what they are, then prioritize and start working at them one at a time. And, maybe one of these causes is lack of activity, but maybe the reason you don't have activity is because you don't have energy. You don't have energy because of poor nutrition. You don't have good nutrition because of poor absorption. You don't have good absorption because of poor digestion. You don't have poor digestion because of these erratic eating habits, eating the wrong foods, heavy foods, cold foods, eating too late. So you can see it goes right back to digestion in 9 out of 10 cases. So always start there with digestion, elimination, get things moving. If you have trouble figuring it all out, contact me. I can figure it out for you, identify the causes, and focus on these causes and eliminate them. So many people who came to me for weight loss never had any weight loss tea, weight loss herbs. No, because we eliminated the causes for their weight gain. Some people even have too strong of an appetite. This Pitta type Prakriti person or Pitta body type, they have a strong appetite, acidity, heartburn, and they have to eat in the morning. And maybe their whole life they've been very active, but now they're not active, but they still have the strong appetite. And they can't really go from lunch to dinner without a meal, snack or big snack. So they're really eating 4 times a day and they're not as active as they were. So then they're gaining weight because their appetite is too strong. And maybe they're even still going to the gym and losing weight, but the appetite's so strong they have to eat a lot to maintain, or exercise a lot to maintain status quo, because they're eating so much and they have to eat so much because they're just so hungry. So we need to tone down the digestion, turn down the fire, get rid of the spicy foods, hot foods, ginger, black pepper, and these things that are stimulating the appetite, and actually have a little bit of other types of cooling foods and salads and even ghee and you know, even a little more butter and fat to kind of satiate the digestion, satiate the fire, so it's not too strong, so the person can go from lunch to dinner without snacking, and from dinner to the next day without snacking, so there's a chance to burn weight. So sometimes it can be the digestive fire is too strong. Other times it can be, you know, too low. And even if those stools are too loose and you're going 4 or 5 times a day, then you can be very hungry because you're losing the transit time is very fast, and you're not having time to absorb the nutrients. So you tend to keep having to eat, and you end up consuming more calories, as we would say, because you're not being able to absorb the food going through you. So, you know, everything has to be balanced. I mean, if you're having no bowel movements, you'll be blocked up, and this will create weight gain. If you're having loose stools and 4 or 5 bowel movements a day and it's going too fast, this can create cravings and overeating. The digestive fire is too hot and hungry, you're overheating. If it's too low, then you don't eat and you put it off too late. So, you know, to improve your health, it's not always a simple just take this. It's a matter of fine-tuning and finding balance with your digestion, balance with your elimination, balance with your metabolism. So you are in these natural cycles, and eating at the same time, sleeping at the same time in a natural rhythm, and with as minimum stress as possible, because stress, as I mentioned earlier, also can be a factor. So I hope this helped you to identify 1, 2, or 3 of your causes for a weight gain. And once you see those, then you can work on removing them. And I would focus on removing these causes like constipation, blockage, or liver problem before you started taking, you know, weight loss supplements or herbs. You know, get rid of these causes first, change your life first, change your eating habits first, do all these things first. And then you'll start to lose weight, feel better, and then you hit a plateau. Then you can take weight loss tea, weight loss herbs, and other herbal supplements to help you and to expedite the weight loss and keep it going. So, but you yourself have to have these good habits and eliminate these causes. Okay, so I hope it helped you. If you need help identifying these causes, feel free to contact me. And thank you very much for joining me in this webinar.